you will definitely see all of this labor being translated into some actual coin. In the last episode, we did all the setup of our farming and iron industry to see just how quickly we can make money for our settlement. So by the end of this video, I will show you just how much we made from our first harvest. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so welcome back to the channel. As I said in the intro, we will be focusing on the farming aspect today. I know a lot of you have been asking for that. So there's quite a few things that we need to get done. Welcome back to our little village here. And I think now is also a good time to probably rename this. I've got the perfect name in mind. Let me know how you feel about this in the comments. Farmsville. Seeing that we're focusing on farming at the moment. So what I want to do first is I'm thinking of expanding this farm even further, adding an additional farmhouse. Just take a look at our fertility here. If you go for rye, which is obviously the most fertile, or it can grow almost anywhere, there's a lot of places to create farmland. Even with emmer or flax, we've got a bunch of nice area in between the woods here. I'm gonna change our logging area to this area and try to clear out all of these trees in the center of town, and then we can focus our farming right around the riverbed here. I think that'll look pretty aesthetic. So without any further ado, let's jump straight into this. First thing I want to do is go ahead and tell them to move or relocate our logging camp to right over here. And then what I want to do with the woodcutter's lodge, unfortunately we are going to move it away from the charcoal kiln, but that won't be a problem because all the firewood also gets moved right over there to the storehouse anyway. So I'm gonna be placing this woodcutter's lodge just here on the opposite side, and then I also see we need a road connection just to make logistics easier. So we'll connect the road up to there, and then that's a bit of a shortcut for them to work, and then we'll give them some time to finish construction on this. Okay, so it looks like construction is finished on our logging camp. I'm gonna be adding 2 families to this. Also, this video is part of a playthrough series that you are welcome to go and check out on my channel. I believe this is the 3rd episode, 3rd or 4th. I will link it in the top right so that you can go and check that out and make sure you haven't missed anything in the past episodes of this specific build. Our woodcutter's lodge is also constructed, so I'm going to add 1 family to that. Then we've got 1 unassigned family still available for construction work. So we've had a bit of issues with food, as you do in every early game. I need to remove someone from the logging camp because we've got no one fishing at the moment. Currently, that is our only source of food. And then also we have built a livestock trading post. We'll be getting some sheep in here pretty quickly. I actually think that I must remove 1 family from the trading post there. We don't need to focus on trading until we get all of this crop in. Then we'll have the resources to trade. Currently we're focusing on tools, but you'll see that we only have 12 available anyway. So the guys at the iron industry is just slowly picking away at that large mine right to the right hand side of the screen at the moment. What I want to do now is import, and we will import 4 sheep for now. They multiply quite quickly, so we'll get our herd up in no time. And then we also need to start adding some more families to our settlement. So let's jump into the burgage plot area over here. What I want to do is also add big enough burgage plots so that we can focus on some orchards. Now that's not really quite big enough yet. I think we'll leave this square open over here, so let's go ahead and add a road. I'm thinking of just adding a road right behind these burgage plots. You can always extend that road later, and then we'll be adding some burgage plots to the right of that road. And then we will make, I'm only in need of 3, so this is big enough. we will be able to get a nice production line going with food or fruit, and then also we'll be gaining another 6 residences for families to move in, so I will be doing that construction. And I just saw something that informed me, or reminded me rather, that I was lying to you earlier. We do have different food sources available. I completely forgot about our vegetable gardens. So let's have a look at what we have. 28 beetroot, 18 carrots and cabbages we've planted on the opposite side of the street, so that'll be coming in rather quickly as well. Then we've got 17 carp, and we've got someone fishing now, so that all seems pretty good to me. What I want to do is see what we need for upgrade requirements. Okay, so we do require 6 planks and then 2 timber. At the moment we don't really have a lot, so I won't be upgrading the burgage plots just yet, but we need 2 level 2 burgage plots or higher, so not much. What I want to do is also to just set the working area for our timber industry. So I'm going to start the firewood production for the woodcutters lodge on this side, and then we'll have the people from the logging camp focus on the other side. They require quite a bit bigger area to work with, and then we'll just clear out all of these trees right over here because they are taking up valuable space. Of course I can just go ahead and construct new buildings or farmland on top of the trees and they'll disappear, but that's a waste of a perfectly good resource. So we'll get them working in this area for now, and then once this is cleared out a bit, of course we will then be expanding our settlement down this way a bit more. We also have another bandit camp that spawned at the exact same location as the previous one, and there you go, resources stolen by the nearby bandits. I want to get rid of them as quickly as possible, and then we'll send that money straight to our treasury, so that we have the ability to hire mercenaries once these raiders arrive. We should also not forget about that. Keep an eye on it. And there we go, battle is underway. I just want to make sure that our guys push forward now. We've got the numbers on them, so we'll definitely win this one. Hopefully we don't lose any units, because this is my workforce right over here. So we haven't lost any units yet, and I'm sure that they will be broken. There we go, pretty soon, is what I wanted to say. Perfect, so now we'll just go ahead and take that bandit camp. Alright, so we have taken the bandit camp. This is going directly to the treasury. We will be making some cash for the regional wealth here pretty soon with our harvest and our iron industry. And luckily we've got our workforce back right now. We've got a treasury with about 214 coin. So that looks pretty good for now. And then we are just waiting on harvest time to come around, about 70 days. I want to see if it's the same for all the fields, and it does appear so. So I wonder why the rye doesn't look that great. Let's go ahead and check our fertility levels on the rye. Well, rye pretty much grows everywhere, and you can see that we've got three plus signs, so that is where it's the most fertile. So probably just because of the planting time, that might make a difference as well. I know that rye and wheat, you are actually supposed to plant before the winter comes, in the autumn months, because it's a winter crop, and then allow it to grow throughout the winter season. What I want to check on is if we have any additional space. We do, for additional oxen. Logistics is very important, so we'll order in as much of those as we possibly can, so that we have enough, especially when harvest comes around, because then we want to add permanent livestock to the farm, so that they just help with the plowing to get that done much faster. We currently have an additional unassigned family available, let's go ahead and see. We've got one person on the trading post, and I want to ensure that we are requesting the import of sheep. 4 of them for now. And also seeing that we've got a bunch of tools back in again, I'll be adding that additional guy over here to the trading post so that we can make use of those tools that we've manufactured. Now that we've got yet another family available, I want to start on the manufacturing of planks once again. So we'll move that saw pit right next to the logging camp. We'll get someone on the saw pit so that we can get some planks to come in. We're going to need that to start upgrading our burgage plots. Of course, it's good to level up. It allows even more families to move in, as well as it opens up this artisan tab. So we can start manufacturing ale from the barley that we're harvesting, and a bunch of other stuff, of course, like weapons. We've got a rich iron deposit over there. So if we head over to the trade post and look at what weapons are worth. Okay, so side arms will be 6, that's quite good. Pole arms 4, not as good. Crossbows 5, so it might be worth it considering manufacturing pole arms. No, not pole arms, side arms, excuse me. And then starting to trade that. I believe that's going to be very profitable for us. Plate armor we can also try to focus on. You get a lot for that. That's 16. We will need to level up our burgage plots quite a bit in order to be able to manufacture those. Great, so currently it is mid-July and our saw pit has been constructed, so we'll add a family to that. I also want to go into the advanced tab here and just see, we've got a limit for 10 timber. It's good to keep some timber, excess timber in storage for all our building requirements, of course. And then we can see which one of these has had a family move in. So of course that first one. How about this one? This one is still empty, and that one is still empty. So what I also want to do is construct our first orchard, and then we will also be building an extension to this one so that we've got 2 families available to work on those orchards for us. I know that I also say this in almost every video that I post, but I am so pleased with the visuals of this game. It just looks absolutely fantastic. If you agree with me, leave a like for the video. Tell me in the comments what you think about Manor Lords visuals. I'm also, after the major update, update number 7, that just moved to the main branch, I'm very excited because the next thing that the developers will be working on is additional content. So I'm excited to see what is coming, and I'll keep you guys updated as well if you are interested in all Manor Lords news. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll try to allow you to catch all the latest news right here first. Okay guys, so I see that I made a very stupid error on the livestock trading post. Just wanted to see if we have any sheep yet, and all of them are waiting. The reason for that being, in my ultimate wisdom and knowledge, I set the sheep to export and not import. So seeing that we don't have any sheep to export yet, why would they move? So now, hopefully that we've set it on the right thing. Sorry about that, guys. Now we'll be getting in some sheep here pretty soon. And I think I'm also going to change that to 6. Let's get 6 of them in and just allow them to multiply quicker. Okay, so back to the farming. I just want to show you something interesting that I just saw. If you go onto the barley, which is a spring crop, you will see that it is almost ready for harvest. The expected yield is quite good. And if you look at that little bar there that shows you the growth, it's almost full. If you go over to the rye or the wheat, however, you'll see that it also needs to be harvested in 16 days, but the predicted harvest is 20, which is quite low. And look at the bar down there. You'll see that that is not even halfway there yet. So the simple reason is just that I haven't planted them in autumn. So the growth time wasn't enough, unfortunately. So perhaps on this first year's harvest we won't make as much as we have expected, but we'll definitely be planting early enough this year, and then we'll see what happens during our next season. Okay, so now that our extension has been constructed on this first burgage plot, we'll go ahead and order some seeds for our orchards. And I see that the quinces, they take about 2 years to reach full maturity, whereas your pears 4 years and apples 3 years. So let's go ahead and start with that one. And then let's see, on this one we can construct an additional extension. Here we have already constructed the extension as well. So it's time to build the orchard. So yeah, guys, slowly everything is starting to come together. What we can also do right after harvest, I will start with upgrading these existing burgage plots. I presume that harvest is just about here. Yes, so we've got 8 days left. Right, so as you can see, we've got our farm workers down there. They have started with the harvest already. I want to just quickly touch on crop rotation. Obviously, once you plant a certain crop, the fertility for that crop does go down quite dramatically. That's why we use crop rotation. So on the following year, we'll plant a different crop, or we will allow the field to fallow, which means nothing gets planted. So on these 2 fields where we had the barley, what I want to do is rye the following year. And then let's go and have a look at our wheat fields. I think on them we will probably do barley then. Let's go ahead and set this to barley. That's where we're going to get the most yield. And then on our 3 smaller fields on this side, let's have a look at the fertility. Obviously, I want to leave some of them open to fallow as well, because then the overall fertility of the field will go up. This one that hasn't had anything planted on it yet will do good with rye. And then I think we will probably leave these 2 fields open. Let them fallow for the next season. And I'm also going to go ahead right now and build us some additional fields. Okay, and there we go. Now we've got 3 more fields that I'll definitely be planting this coming season. We will also be constructing an additional farmhouse, seeing that we have so many fields, just so that we can have enough workers. What we'll do on this one, let's have a look. I think we'll do wheat and some more wheat and some more wheat on these 3 fields, and then that'll allow us to make enough wheat bread that we can then export for hopefully a large sum of cash. Also want to start growing flax sooner than later. So let's see. I'm not going to be worried about these few trees right here at the moment. So we'll do an additional field over there, and then we will plant this with flax. So flax at 80% fertility. It's not the best, but at least it's something. Let's go ahead and look at that. Okay, yeah, so flax does look better in this area. I should have probably let them plant it on this side, closer to the river. Let's make a nice long field over here. And then we'll turn this into our flaxseed, 88%. Not too bad. I really do hope that we have enough time for these 8 families in our farmhouse to complete all of the work before winter comes around. But we'll keep an eye on it. And that's it. Our last crop has been harvested for this season. And hopefully these guys will start plowing our new fields for the new year. Okay, so we'll allow the guys on the farms to continue with their work. Now we can head back to town and look at that. We've got enough planks now to start upgrading our burgage plots. So I feel that it is just fitting for us to do the ones that we built first. Have them upgrade first. Okay, and there we just ran out of timber. But that's quite a few projects that our settlers have going on here. Let's head over to the orchards and see. Okay, so the second one, ready to get an orchard of his own. I will be doing apples, as that is the one that's taking only 3 years to reach full maturity, rather than the pears, which is 4 years, but we will be doing all of them anyway. So let's just make sure quickly. We have an extension on that one, and on that one, and on this one. And all three of them we have assigned the particular orchards to. Okay guys, so something that I have seen with the crop rotation, you see that a few of the workers are busy plowing these 2 fields that we have set to fallow for the next year. So seeing that the season hasn't really changed, harvesting, plowing and sowing crops, they should actually change that around. I hope that's an update that the developers get to, because they are plowing these rye fields for nothing at the moment. It's not supposed to be worked, so they are just wasting a bunch of time on it. We've got 1 ox on this field which is almost done. They need to plant the rye on this one before winter time comes, because if it's winter, then they immediately stop working. It's too late to plant then. This one, they are plowing now, but I don't want them to plant barley again, so we'll leave it as is. Hopefully this refreshes and they plant the correct crop. So I'm going to do the same on this side. Plowing will take quite a while. Over here I want some barley done anyway, so we'll leave them to plow that one and then barley again. So while we're looking at this cinematic shot of our farms being worked, I would have actually preferred that they don't split up and start plowing. You see at the moment they're busy working like two guys or 2 individuals per field. I would have much preferred that they rather complete one field and then move on to the next. That'll be another thing that I hope they change in the future. It does not help they only do half of all the fields and then basically nothing gets done, obviously. You see, when you look at this now, this rye field, they've only planted half of it as of yet. So yeah, this definitely needs some adjustment. I think I'm going to turn this one off as well. Nothing has been planted there yet. So please go ahead and focus on one field at a time. That'll work a lot better. Of course, I will need to build an additional farmhouse. I think I'll go ahead and get that constructed right here for now. And then once we have enough workers in our village, settlers in our village, then we'll be able to make full use of all this farmland. It's a bit chaotic at the moment. So just let's quickly go ahead and have a look at this. So the rye field has been fully planted and it's growing. Expected yield 33. That's quite good because it isn't a large field. These 2 are supposed to be completely fallow. Let's see on this side. So they have planted the rye over there already, and then on this one the rye has been planted. Here we have barley planted, and they are now busy with the planting of this field. So okay, that really doesn't look too bad. Right guys, there we go. It is December and winter is officially here, so no more planting will be done this year. We almost got through with it. As you can see, there's about 2 fields left. I have set these 2 fields to flax anyway, so they are supposed to be planting this early next year. I'll let them continue with the plowing for now. We have got the following planted. Let's just do a quick recap. Rye on that field with a pretty good expected harvest or predicted harvest. Over here we have got rye planted as well, and some more rye planted. Let's see, right here we've got wheat, another wheat field, and yet another wheat field. So that actually looks pretty good. On this side we'll have barley with a great predicted harvest, and some more barley on this side. And then these 2 will be our flax fields, which we will get to early in next year. We have got a lot of unassigned families available at the moment. I will be filling up this windmill as well as the communal oven to get them baking and making flour as quickly as possible, so that we can see how much we actually get. You'll see that we've got plenty of wheat bread, not as much as I would have hoped for, but as you can see there's still wheat grain available, which they are still turning into flour. So there will be some more bread coming in to our settlement. Currently we have available 9 months of food supply. That reminds me to remove a family from the fisherman's hut, and that one I will just be adding to the sheep farm over there. We have got no need, I believe, for the person or the family on the livestock trading post. Yes, because we do have 6 sheep as well, so no trade on that. And then we will be removing that family. We've got another free family available then. Alright guys, so at the end of this video, as I have promised before, I will show you the amount of money that we could have potentially made from our first year of harvest. So if we quickly look into our granary, you'll see that we have no flour left. And also there's nothing in the windmill or the communal oven. Just quickly want to show you there, which means that this is basically what we received, as well as with the barley, which we won't take into account right now because that can be further turned into malt and then ale, which you can also export at a very good price. But let's just quickly look at the 2 types of bread that we've got. So we've got 58 wheat bread and 33 rye bread. So let's jump over to the trade post quickly. Okay, so if we jump into the trade post and take a look at the food tab, you will see that rye bread goes for 3 coin, and then if you go down a bit more, the wheat bread will go for 5 coin per unit that you sell. So if I do a quick calculation here, for the bread alone in the first year of harvest, we would have been able to export all of it for around 389 coin, which isn't great, but it also isn't too bad, especially if you remember that we haven't planted all of those crops in time, so we didn't get the yield that we expected. And then of course also another big factor, which will be the barley. If we turn that into ale, let's say 58, which we currently have in stock, and I'm not sure what the ratio is there, how much ale can you make from your raw barley crop. Let's head into this. I want to see if ale is listed underneath food or commodities. Ale you can sell for around 6 coin each. So let's say, for example, we just presume that we will get exactly 58 ale out of that. That's an additional 350 coin. So for our first year of harvest, we would have then roughly had about 700 coin come into our regional wealth, and that is without the manufacturing of the iron as well. So definitely in the next episode we will be seeing the fruits of our labor. We haven't received the physical coin yet, but in the next episode we'll get to the manufacturing part of the ale, and then also we'll have a large enough surplus. As you can see, we've got 10 months of food supply available now. Once we get the following year's crop in, that'll be even more, as you need to count the fish with that, as well as the meat that will probably be getting from our sheep farm over here. So things are really looking up, and if you guys stay tuned and tune into the next episode, you will definitely see all of this labor being translated into some actual coin in our regional wealth. So guys, please stay tuned. So this is exactly where I will be leaving you for this episode. We are deep into the winter. If you guys found any value in the content, and if you enjoy watching, please consider subscribing to the channel. Leave me a like, leave me a comment. I appreciate everything that you guys have to share with me. Till then, keep well and cheers.